Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to another episode of our Suzerain Let's Play. So we pick things back up with an emergency meeting about alliances as Rumberg has shot down one of our planes. And we are in the last year of our office. We could try to win re-election, and we will try to win, but it's not looking great with the economy looking like this. But first, we'll take care of this international incident. And we're sitting with our Minister of Foreign Relations or Foreign Affairs, David. I knew that the matter must have been serious. He insisted on waiting for Isov and Lucien, so we did. Lucien entered the room with Isov by his side. Mr. President, we came as fast as we could. Mr. President, Mr. Vesey, what's going on? Welcome everyone. Due to the potential ramifications, I wanted everyone to be present for this meeting. We have received an envoy from Arcasia. They're requesting a state visit. Judging from the current climate, it is not hard to see what this is about. Ato is always trying to expand its influence after all. They'll most likely try to convince us to join. In addition, as part of this state visit, the White Walker will, of course, meet with you in person, Mr. President. Okay, so this is the President of the Republic of Arcasia. There is a lot we could gain from this visit. With all due respect, are you out of your mind, Mr. Lancia? Let him continue. This is madness. We cannot even consider accepting this. I bet he will come asking us for a corporation under the guise of enforcing their demands to join Ato. This will alienate half the world against us, and we're going to have to be at the forefront of the battle. If we are approaching this from the perspective of national defense, then don't. We're in better shape than we were ever before. I assure you, we don't need any outside help. Definitely not from Dwight Walker. We'll make do somehow. We'll decide when we talk to him. We need to be careful. Mr. Walker never gives anything for free. There'll be some concessions for sure. Mr. Vesey, you are our most experienced foreign policies expert. What's your take on this? What do you think is the right action? Rumberg is bound to increase diplomatic pressure in the upcoming AN meeting, United Nations, for this world. Back channels are reporting rumors about Queen Patrice Livingston's meeting with military leaders in Thornborough. I'm afraid it might not be possible to stand against Rumberg without strong allies. Soon we'll have to take a side in this global rivalry to avert a potential conflict with Rumberg. And I recently found out a planned meeting between the Queen and Chairman Melanyev of United Kantana. The ATO and the President Walker might be the necessary evil to stop worse things from happening. I say we should consider this offer very seriously. Lucien, what do you think? I heard our expert. You're the one who has to decide. I will take the meeting. Our economy really needs the help. How should we welcome their delegation? I mean, we're hoping to impress them. It's a state visit after all from a superpower. Alright, seems like we're jumping right in. State visit coming right up. The door of the car opened and flashes went off. Dwight Walker, President of Arcasia, head of ATO, it's like NATO, but Arcasian Treaty Organization, came out of the car smiling and waving at the enormous crowd that gathered. It was not every day Arcasian President came to visit Sordland after all. Both sides of the maroon carpet leading up to the palace were lined up with soldiers wearing military uniforms of the Kingdom of Sordland era. They had swords, shields, spears, and some of them were on horseback. As soon as President Walker stepped on the carpet, children appeared and showered the road with roses. He slowly started walking towards us. It was then the century-old sword dance started. The show took a minute at most, and President Walker watched it quietly with a stern face, nodding. Lucien approached my side and quietly whispered, "Is the welcome to your liking, sir?" It looks good, Lucien. Good job. Thank you. Seeing that President Walker was approaching, Lucien stood back. Finally, I was in reaching distance of one of the most powerful men in the world. He looked at Monica first, bowed and kissed her hand for a second longer than I would like. Mr. Rayne, if you told me I'll be getting to meet your lovely wife, I would have come sooner. I'm charmed, Miss Rayne. Oh my, thank you, Mr. Walker. It's a pleasure to meet with you. No, the pleasure's all mine, Miss Rayne. I hope your wife and the family as well. They are very well, Miss Rayne, thank you. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it here today. And who do we have here? Mr. President, it's so good to finally meet you. Welcome to Sordland. Thank you. He was simply looking around at the extraordinary interior design of the Maroon Palace. Statues, paintings, various ornaments filled both sides of the corridor. We passed the corridor, entered the reception hall. The crowd inside was composed of various politicians and state figures. Upon our entry, they started clapping. Dry martinis were handed to both of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you President Walker. Thank you, President Rayne. It's really good to be here. And to thank you everyone for a warm welcome. Miss Rayne, can I call you Monica? She looked over at me before smiling at him. Yes, of course, if I can call you Dwight. He took her hand and they started dancing. I turned around to talk to the waiter. I was into my third martini when I heard a whistle. I turned around and saw Monica dancing very closely with President Walker. All eyes in the room were on them. President Walker grabbed Monica's waist. Finish the martini, this is fine. Monica looked like she's having fun. They finally finished their dance after a few minutes and came over to the bar that I was leaning on. Monica, you're full of surprises. Thank you, Mr. Walker. And Mr. Rayne, you're one lucky guy. I know, and I cherish every moment of it. Monica looked at me and smiled. Ah, you lovebirds. The president and I swapped our drink for every maroon 30-year-olds. I know a special spot. With our drinks at hand, we went down the stairs to the basement. Gradually, the music and the sound of the party started to fade away. We arrived at a cozy little corner office with not much inside other than a table and comfortable chairs. He took a seat and I followed suit. He pulled out 2 cigars. I don't smoke, Mr. Walker, thanks. These are the best cigars in the world, I guarantee it. Are you sure? Yes, I am. He pulled out a Ripple lighter and lit his cigar. We clinked our glass and took a sip. Ah, this is a really good one. Very smoky, I like it. I'm glad you liked it. Definitely miles better than Valgslindian whiskey, but I like lesbian whiskey more. It pairs better with their cigars. You see, Mr. Rayne, whiskeys are a little bit like countries. Some are stronger, some are weaker. Some are older, some are younger. Many are complex, but sometimes simple is the best. I personally like stronger whiskeys in general. That's why I like this one. Yes, it's definitely promising. But whatever you drink in the end, it all boils down to your own tastes, and I assure you, Mr. Rayne, my sense of taste is very refined. What type of whiskey do you like? I like complex flavors. As good as they are, they can get tiring. He tugged at his tie to loosen it a bit. You know why I'm here. I want to make you an offer. I'm listening. Good. Listen closely. Times are changing, and so is the balance of the world. Soon instead of a fractured world, we'll see a more united world. There is us, ATO, against them. I want you by our side, the winning side. If you accept, I would like to extend you a warm welcome to ATO as a full member state. This, of course, comes with lots of privileges and responsibilities. In ATO, we protect each other. We have a mutual defense clause in the case of war. Join us, Mr. Rayne, and you have the entire backing of ATO, soldiers, jet fighters, warplanes, whatever you like. During peacetime, you will see the effect even more. Our combined production output will benefit both Sordland and ATO. We'll have free trade zone agreement, free visa access, investments, you name it. All I ask in return is mutual loyalty to one another in the pact. The Swordish Armed Forces will be a member of the ATO military structure. All branches, be it Air, Navy, Army, will collaborate with the Alliance Network. We'll provide assistance and training for free. Our armies will learn how to fight together and be stronger than ever in the face of Melanyevist's threats. Let's make history here tonight. What do you say? Is that all you're asking for? I was expecting more demands. But why, Mr. Rayne? In my mind, we're already aligned. Where I'm coming from is more so from a perspective of friendship and stability in Eastern Markopa. There is much to gain for both of us, which makes this the perfect partnership. I don't see why I should resist this. Rumberg is clearly headed for the other side, and we have been playing our cards quite carefully in the region too. Didn't really align with Vauxland, which is also kind of on, the Kantana side. Alright, we're joining. Maybe this will help our economy. Welcome to ATO, Mr. Rayne. Welcome home. Cheers to a newfound partnership. Yeah, Lesbia's relationship with us should be improved. Have a few dance moves to show off. It's okay, we trust our wife to be faithful. Just a dance. We'll be joining ATO. Now hopefully our economy will improve. Late night. Perhaps a chat with our wife. After weeks of late night, Monica, Sierra, and the Women's Rights Commission have succeeded in getting their bill through the Assembly. That is good to hear. It was as comprehensive as they could have hoped for. I was looking forward to celebrating with my wife. It's been hours since I gotten home, and she still wasn't there. I was dozing on the couch after yet another frozen TV dinner when I heard the key turn in the lock. Monica stumbled into the hall. "Honey, I'm home." Kiss her? Her breath smelled like gin. I was just having a few drinks with Sierra. I can't believe we did it, Anton. This is such amazing news. She hiccuped. You could have invited me to the celebrations. Oh, you would have found it boring, and somebody had to look after Deanna. I believe you're turning into a politician, Mrs. Rayne. Get used to it, baby. Seriously, Anton, this is what I want to do. I never felt so alive. Yeah, the photo. Wow, look at us. Who'd have thought we would wind up as Sordland's most powerful couple? Oh, I always had an idea. We stayed curled up on the couch till late, talking and reminiscing about old times until Monica took my hand and wordlessly led me upstairs to the bedroom. See, of course we trust our wife there. Now, let's see. There's a new entry. Largest military parade ever to show strength? Right. Workers' Party poisoned. Oh, that is the new person. I didn't ask for this to happen, so the nationalists are behind this. Record membership numbers. There is peace in our time. Vauxlandian Navy spotted in full force. We might actually join in and help. Country stability decreased. That is not good. An interview for us. Next week. Okay. For the election, of course. First, the speech. Grant Cherry Hotel in Enrica. Haven't slept all night? Rally at the base. Good morning, sir. Morning, Lucian. I have just received the final result of the investigation into the old guard. Well, don't leave me in suspense. As you may recall, Caro hinted at complex web of connections surrounding the old guards, as well as multiple cases of corruption and lobbying. However, he kept stalling whenever I pressed him for detail. Eventually, I received this bulletin from the desk of the Secret State Police, supposedly a list of leads they uncovered. Look at the first letter of each name. I went down the list and it spelled nice try, Glade. What's the meaning of this? Elias and the old guard undoubtedly has something to hide, but the Secret State Police is their instrument. I should have advised you not to pursue this. Sorry to have failed you. Right. Elias is controlling this. This is the worry that we had at the very beginning, but so far they have done okay for us. But it's my fault. If you wish, we could still remove Lilias from her cabinet position for encouraging the police insubordination, but it wouldn't make you very popular. I guess we can't rock the boat. What did he say? I blessed the rain down in Enrica. Huh, FC Enrica scarf. Part owner of the team. A large banner that says... Victory is close. Alright, everyone cheers. The mayor, Curtin Lesty, is now part of the opposition as a member of the NFP. It seemed most of Enrica still on my side. Sons and daughters of Sordland. We have seen our country tested over and over. Yet the Rayne administration stands strong, ready to lead Sordland to greatness once more. With my reelection, I'll finish pulling Sordland's economy from the death of reception. We will restore harmony. Defend us from threats. Root out corruption. The USP remains strong as ever. Fix the economy. So we had to remove Peter. If we didn't, he's automatically, there's no event that puts him off the ticket. That's why Albin's not supporting us. So that is my fault. Should have been slightly more direct with that. But I thought I would have a chance to name my VP, but I guess this is not the chance. Finish what we started. We'll have a broad coalition of supporters. So remember, vote Rayne 57. Walk off stage. Right, this election is not really gonna go as planned. Young swords are helping us keep peace. Good. Our investment in them is well paid, but obviously they'll be fighting the Red Youth. And we're oppressing the rise of the nationalist. They're coming to our shores. Right, they have the backing of the USP. Or not USP, the United Katana organization, so obviously they're going to be a little bit stronger here. Force protesters out. Nationalist support. I arrived at the Ministry of Economy and proceeded upstairs. Assistant waiting by the door took my jacket. And Simon, let's see, good afternoon. We only got one back, so we're -9. Good afternoon. Hope I'm not late. Did you start yet, Mr. Vice President? No, not yet. Now that everyone's here, let's begin. As you know, we're here to review the economic progress we made over the past term and decide how to proceed. I'll brief you quickly. Right. Very well, let's hear it. Our extra focus on the economy has resulted in some small-scale positive growth. The extra resources have been a boon to my ministry. It would have been great if we followed up on this focus during our next term. Let's take a deep dive in detail now. Please turn to page 5. Let's start off with our economy plan. I'd like to say that we are on track, but unfortunately I cannot. Our decisions so far have not been in line with our initial intention for a market economy. We have been largely inconsistent, and our economy has taken a hit because of it. This is the price we pay for doing the right thing. I agree history will prove us right. Just pointing out the facts here. Let's move on with the report. Please turn to page 16. Status of trade and effect of foreign policy. Our trade has increased since the beginning of our term. We're on the right path. More trade means more vibrant economy, which means unbridled economic development. In our attempt to repair Sordland's economic system, we went for a mixed approach. We tried to cater to the needs of both businesses and Sorder citizens. It's been a delicate balance. Thankfully, living standards are steadily increasing. We've been receiving fewer and fewer complaints about our welfare system. Some of our industries have also been knocked down to their knees in our recent taxation. The demand for these goods have decreased drastically, which led to business industry being shut down. Some people are calling for the government out for infringing on their personal liberties. Apparently, some even filed lawsuits saying the taxes violate their human dignity. Their lawyers argue for them that they need it for mental health treatment. Production in our country has nearly doubled since the start of our administration. It is a great success. Let's not forget about the sacrifice we have to make to achieve this. We're on the right track. If we keep doing what we're doing, it's bound to get better. Moving on to logistics. We have an infrastructure problem. The economy won't truly flourish unless we solve it. We need to make new roads, improve existing ones. People and business alike have been complaining. Smoother commutes, easier access, and faster delivery times would help everyone out. We're very close to the end. I want to talk about a few numbers. Please turn to 57. Our inflation rate is currently at staggering 25%, up from 7%. It might be the highest of Sordland's history. The Swedish Rayne have been wildly fluctuating as a result, and consumer prices have gone up, which means that Swedish citizens are angry at us. Right. Well, we need to fix this. What is our debt situation? More debt? Enter the debt crisis without assistance from a third party. How are we doing with unemployment? Steady at 16. Changes most due to lack of investment. GDP. Halved. I have to say I failed my country. Very well. My number indicate that overall, we've been generously spending our government budget. Money that is not spent is just a piece of paper, so that's good for us. Now, going to the election, hopefully a second term, we need to decide on a way forward. One thing is clear, we need a bigger budget. We shouldn't start our next term with a budget deficit. What should we do, Mr. President? Any ideas? Take a loan. MFI, the IMF. Reputation, but it can't be done. Now, +2 is not really gonna help. You may have surmised from the numbers I've given you that the economy has worsened considerably over the course of our administration. I want to prepare you for the truth. There is no longer a mere recession. We entered a period of historians might considerably refer as the Swedish Great Depression. We have broken our promises and failed our people. My only hope is that future generations will be able to forgive us when we look back. It is my fault, but we will look to fix it. We have definitely failed on the economy front here. Ghost Town. The NFP welcomed General Lutheran's son into their midst. General Lutheran, infamous for organizing the coup against President Vesey. I see. Seems like I have set up the country to fail and throw their arms right for the National Frontiers Party. Lack of trade with the North, no road systems. Victory for everyone. Fern's Rector are making waves in Luckhaven. And we have a scheduled television appearance. Are you ready for the interview? Yes. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Mr. Sacker excited to interview you. As I explained before, it would be bad press to decline this interview offer. They are the most prestigious interview program in the world, and they are from Karut. The country is known for its neutrality. I don't think there will be too much pressure. It's fine, I can handle it. Mr. President, welcome to One-on-One. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you. Let us begin with the latest incident between Sordland and Rumburg. An aircraft from the Swedish Air Force was shot down by Rumburgian anti-air gun a few weeks ago. Officials from Rumburgian government proclaimed the aircraft was flying inside the airspace of Rumburg. Your government had been silent apart from a few statements which claimed your plane was indeed in Swedish airspace when it was shot down. Do you believe the Rumburgian force initiated an intentional attack? You have reasons to believe that, yes, they are being increasingly aggressive over the last years. Does that mean there'll be more hostilities on the horizon? I hope not. We are willing to do what it takes, not to create a conflict. Do you believe Queen Livingston share the same sentiment? I hope she does. We're willing to work together to achieve peace in eastern Markopa. This week, the Arcadian government has condemned Rumburg for their actions against Sordland. Now Sordland's also a member of the ATO. Do you think this would deter Rumburg from creating a broader conflict? Yes, I'm sure it would deter them from creating a war, but they will likely continue their harassment in other ways. He stopped for a moment and took a brief look at his papers. Let's continue on that note. I want to expand a little more on your foreign policy. Let's talk about the ongoing conflict about Hedgeland Island. Sordland is not officially taking any side between the Nolia and Vaugsland. So far, you have refrained from making any statements about the conflict. According to reports from yesterday, Vauglian Navy had finally attacked the Anolian fleet at Helgeland Island. Today, Prime Minister von Hoorten announced that the island is indeed under invasion. He said Valandian troops landed on the island. So here's my question. Was this and will be the role... What is and will be the role of Sordland in this conflict? Oh, we'll stand with the people of Helgeland land. What does that mean, President? We will support the knowing government in Helgeland. Would Sordland also get involved if the situation get out of control? As a peacekeeping force, yes. We can't let Markin Sea turn into a war zone. Okay, let's move on to another topic. Last year, a huge conflict took place close to your borders with Wayland, when the Wessex forces partook in a massacre of British citizens under the guise of eliminating the British Freedom Front. Sordland said to watch the atrocity take place. In fact, you not only closed the borders to the refugees fleeing from a massacre, your border guards worked in cooperation with the Wessex forces. Will you accept responsibility for thousands of lives that were lost in Wayland? Of course not. We had nothing to do with what went on inside Wayland. We only protected our borders. Many have criticized Sordland for its role in this conflict. Do you not accept any criticism? No. There is nothing wrong with protecting our country. You could have. Well, it seemed that all the time we have for today. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you for coming to Sordland. Well, if he can interview us again, we would still be president, I guess. Okay, Leaky's taking over. Dependent on foreign help, yes indeed. Communist Party and the Buddha Work Party forms a People's Front. Ooh, a third party that is strong enough to get votes. Interesting. That is an interesting development. Right, our Great Depression. And we have the invasion. It's hard to see how we can win this re-election. Rampant unrest. Yes, he's been poisoned. So the Communist Party and the Buddha workforce has joined. Early morning. Let's see what happened. I'm curious to see what President Rayne's response will be. For those who are turning in late, today is certainly going to be a rough day for the administration. We have confirmed about the certainty of these leaks. This is nothing short of a major scandal that could very well lead to the impeachment of President Rayne. Ha! Our son to Horsewar State University. And we've been secretly funding Yon Swords behind the scene. Orchestrated the death of Chief Justice Supreme Court. So the secret police, Lilias, is using this against me. Let's just turn it off. No need to be angry. Peter. I wish I hadn't. To be frank, we might be screwed. Start the impeachment process. Hang in there, buddy. So how did it come out? I guess because we don't control the secret police. The lies of Rayne. Private meeting with Lalise. She's the one, I believe. Private dinner. Let's knock. Portrait of a young woman in a lace. Is that you? My mother, actually. I was her only child, you know. Giving birth to me left her medically unable to conceive. My father could never forgive her, but for not bearing him a son, and she never forgave me. Get to the point, Lalise, why invite me here? Given how your wife spends her time these days, I thought you might be in need of a home-cooked supper. The butler silently stepped into the parlor and rang the silver bell. And speaking of which, she led me into a dining room, where a glittering chandelier hung from the high ceiling. Beneath it was a long table set for two, a woman in apron and a chef's hat. Wazik, by her appearance, ceremonially presented a roast rack of venison. A home-cooked supper, huh? Please, Mr. Rayne, I didn't get to where I am now by slaving away in the kitchen. Quick prayer before digging in. Best meat we ever had. Mr. President, I wish I'd been consulted on this military parade decision. Is that the really best use of our time and resource given the mounting unrest in the country? Aren't your police taking care of it? They're doing their best, but Sordland's far from safe. Lilias pursed her lips. Those leaked revelations certainly haven't helped matters. What do you think I should do about that? A strong leader would ignore the allegations and focus on winning the election, by all means necessary. Thanks for everything you've done, Lilias. Anton, thank you for all the help you have given to my ministry during your term. I'm all the more grateful considering it wasn't even initially a priority of yours. I do wish you heeded my request to place the Zamendary under my jurisdiction, and I regret you caved to Miss Walda and mandated the teaching of the evolution nonsense in school, not to mention the feeling the need to plump our children full of strange chemicals in response to some unconfirmed health threat. Regardless, I'm looking forward to working more closely together during your next term. I'll drink to that. That was it. That is a weird dinner. That is a very weird dinner. I thought I was going to get blackmailed or offered something, but no. Alright, they're here to modernize our Air Force. And we finally have our military parade. Was Isov with Sergei as usual. He's wearing his decorated ceremony outfit. He's not very happy about this either. No, this was his plan actually. Kruger hated this. Rumberg will think twice after today. Private, can't you do your job privately? Perform a lousy salute to Isov? What is that salute, soldier? Watch, this is a real salute. Doesn't give me much confidence that our soldiers can't even know how to properly salute. I'll have them educated. Mr. President, Mr. Lancia. Performed a salute. At ease, Mr. Wagner. Are you ready to depart yet? Yes, sir. Please, follow me, please. Have you seen the tanks? Our planes, too. That is the plan. A great one, I say. My kids are very excited to wake up today, you know, to see the planes fly. Sergei, where did you do your military service? Morna, 7th Artillery Squadron. I still talk with many of my friends from those days. Camaraderie of military is never forgotten. I still talk with many from my day as well. What about you, sir? All over Sordland, you know. Mr. President was under my command once. Gumrin outpost. He turned to me. Do you remember those days? Who can forget about Major Lancia? We called him the Relentless. Isa let out a long laugh. Good old days. We are here, sir. We exited the building, and let's see, we wave. Things look good. High-ranking military staff and attaches from the ATO. Alright, basically this is for citizens, right? We will wave. Tarquin Soul. Alright, that's over. Not much dialogue there. And we can continue on. The will of the state. Time for election, it seems. We're still in chapter 4, but I think that might be the last chapter for us, given I don't see how we can win. The Alliance of Nations. Oh, we get one international trip left, perhaps? Right. Guess this is our international trip. All the world's most powerful people under one gleaming dome. One wrong word and the world will go to hell. How are you feeling, Anton? Being the president must have taken a toll on you and your family. It comes with a job. It's tough to be the president, making harsh decisions and dealing with their consequences. I wish I could have supported you more, but time has been a cruel mistress. I appreciate the advice. Mr. Nye's approach with his designated position. Prime Minister of Lesbia. Let's listen to him. The threat of so-called socialist state and action taken by the authoritarian rulers with no regards to international law. Keep watching. Today, the need to come together as the leaders of the free world is more important than ever. The CSP, under the leadership of United Cantana, has fueled Vauxland military-industrial complex and expansionist aims in Eastern Marcopa. The world turned a blind eye when the armies of Vauxland occupied Hajiland, and they did not stop there. According to our intelligence report, United Cantana made nuclear missiles were quickly deployed to the island. We demand that the Chancellor speak the truth. As you can all see, we have evidence of the construction of the silos. Keep listening. No Eastern Macopian nation can accept the installation of the weapons of mass destruction. in the middle of our Markian Sea. We stand up and kept pounding the fist. We hereby call for an immediate dismantling and withdrawal of all missiles and other offensive weapons from Hegeland. We invite all member states to support our call for a resolution in accordance to Article 11 of the Flanco Treaty. A loud noise come from the Assembly Hall in response. Most of the Western Markovian delegate were clapping, while others still shouted in protest. Let us not forget that the recent event that transpired in another state with socialist teachings, a state waging war against its own innocent citizens, Wayland. We are going to be quiet here. Their purge of the minorities in their country was again largely ignored by international committee. I could go as far as call it a genocide. Wayland violated our past treaties and mobilized their armed forces, deploying them close to our borders and authorized them to partake in the massacres. Lesbia was affected not only by a large wave of refugees from Wayland, but by subsequent government seizure of all our companies that were active in the country. We hereby call the member states' action against Wayland and its rogue government. Thank you. Let's give him a clap. President Nyes waited for the noise to calm down before the speaker. And let's see. It's his turn to give a speech. Mr. President, fellow delegates, it's true that the world faces a multitude of challenges today. The world's most powerful leaders gather here in Karut, and what do? They make threats, promote hate, and spread lies. Is this the alliance of nations we all wanted? Is this the cooperation and friendship? Where is the unity? I want to remind you of the wars that the West fought on our soils, of the foreign troops who occupied our country and seized our valuable resources. I want to remind you how they stole oil from our sacred soil and they did not know when to stop. The ATO soldiers left, but their interference never ceased. They financed armed rebel groups whose only purpose to create terror inside our country. So, my fellow delegates, don't you dare speak about Wayland before your knowledge of your involvement in our civil war, before your knowledge of your own dark past. Keep watching. As is well known, after the tremendous tragedy of Wayland's civil war, Arcadia made a deal with United Cantana, where they agree upon the withdrawal of their troops along with the removal of half of our army. Not only did they weaken us, we were left alone in facing the genocidal Brutish Freedom Front, which the ATO funds together with Rumberg. Just like the delegate before me, I'll show you some evidence of foreign interference. I have clear evidence of direct aid from Rumberg to Brutish Freedom Front. They smuggled tons of Ka-74s in Wayland. They smuggled in their spies, smuggled in mercenary commanders. I have to say, he does have balls. Those documents will be published everywhere. Copies have already been sent to the investigative affairs of the Alliance of Nations. I expect this organization to do its task and investigate this properly. Very, very nice. Second, the operation was limited only to the militant BFF, not to Boods in general. Third, we know your government is also implicit in the funding of BFF, and that your oil company aided their militant during the operation. Fourth, as the state, we only took what was ours. The companies were The companies the delegates spoke of were not only aiding militants, they were also brought to Wayland by force. Know that Wayland will no longer recognize the right of any country to determine what type of weapons we're permitted to possess and what type of policies we follow within our borders. Very, very strong statement. Wayland stands stronger and more united than ever. Our people have spoken, the enemies inside our borders are crushed. Now I asked every delegate here to read our report on the connections of the West with the armed militants in Eastern Marcopa, and I asked the Alliance of Nations to do what's right. Wayland only wants peace. Our people want peace. They are counting on the support and understanding of all nations of the world. Their proclamation is free Wayland or death. He seems very popular with Rika, isn't he? Anti-imperialist. Now we have Anolia. It's an honor to meet you today. The world has left them alone. Right, they're not part of the ATO, so they're not getting defended by anyone. Keep watching. Mr. President, please moderate the assembly. This is more than disrespectful. As you all know, Hedgeland, which had been a territory of Anolia for more than 3 decades, was invaded by Valgsland in a sudden attack. Not only did they unlawfully occupy our land, they brought nuclear missiles to the island the moment our forces retreated. Melenyevist terror surrounds us on all sides. We must not falter. I invite all member states to find a resolution in accordance with Article 11 of the Flanco Treaty, enforcing the immediate dismantle of all missiles from Hedgeland. I call the democratic world to action against the tyranny of Melenyvism, authoritarianism, militarism, extremism. You are a spineless jerk, a lackey of Arcasian imperialism. We'll speak up. Mr. President, point of order. The Chancellor has no right to intervene. You have no right to intervene. Know your place, President Rayne. I believe I don't need to speak more about this subject. Everything is clear as day. Mr. Higel's actions speak volumes about the reality of Valgsland and their corrupt ideologies. I hope to see this conflict resolved with the help of the Alliance of Nations soon. He gets to speak again. Or I guess he hasn't spoken yet, but... Let's see. First of all, I want to extend a due welcome to the new states from Rika that have joined. After fighting for years against colonialism and imperialism, they more than earned our membership vote. As our numbers grow... Sadly, Valgsland had been part of this plunder in years. Okay. Okay, so the ATO first formed to fight against Melenyvism. Alright, keep watching. Howland was, is, will always be Valgsland territory. Our intervention in the island was completely justified. Mr. Delegates brought up the Valkan and Ventry City treaties, however they forgot about Treaty of Constantum. Valgsland exercised right to interview on behalf of our people. Right, so they have the majority of population there. Illegal missiles, what type of weapon we import. Lesbia has soldiers and missiles. Right. I mean, all this Alliance of Nation talk is all very, very useless. Everyone is using nationalism to kind of... Was that Swordish? Did I catch that right? Valgish. Very similar Swordish, right? Ah, the Queen. Flight of people from the north. By the hand of Swordish kings. Oh, I'm getting blamed for this. We'll keep listening. Another very, very strong leader here. Now it's my turn. Time to put up a show, right? Thank you, Mr. President, fellow delegates. Let's... Oh. Sordland remained committed to the Alliance of Nation, ideal given birth to it. Yet we all know how often the noble ideal embodied in this charter remain unfulfilled and concerns unheard. Our people are still not free from fear, not free from poverty and starvation. It's time to ask the hard questions, ask if this organization is achieving any of its aims. Let's address some of the topics this year today. It was an earlier claim that Wayland was involved in a genocide. Such strong words shouldn't be spoken without proper evidence. Sordland stands together with the Wessex people. I would like to extend my support to Mr. Van Houten. The delegate from Anolia is correct. We cannot let CSP install nuclear missiles right next to our homes. Sordland will do whatever it takes to make sure the aggressor will never achieve their aims. You're nothing but a puppet of Arcasia. Let's respond. Don't you dare to interrupt me again. You're mistaking me for my predecessors. Next, address the Queen of Rumburg. Sordland always wanted to have peace between our nations, yet we're being threatened by Rumburg. We wanted to be diplomatic even when Rumburg shot down our plane. I also have some evidence to show to the Assembly. Mr. Schmalak was right about the Ka-74s. We discovered that many militant groups in Sordland were being financed and armed by Rumburg. There is also another important piece of evidence that we have, provided to us by someone close to the Rumburgian government. According to our reports, Rumburg has been building its own nuclear weaponry. I hereby call this Alliance of Nations to serve its duty. Rumberg and nuclear facilities must be properly investigated. Thank you for listening to our concerns. I wish to see a resolution from the AN soon. We stand and always will stand for the right of the people of Sordland and Eastern Marcopa, just as those in other continents. The people of Sordland and I are honored to have expressed our concerns before the Noble Assembly. Peace in Marcopa, peace in the world. Mr. Alvarez, Lesbia's president? Half. Thank you. How was it? It's not a bad speech, Mr. President. You did well. President of Arcadia. Worried about the CSP, worried about the communists, worried about the island. The century of revolutions, tested by the United Cantana and the Melanjevist bloc. Taking off his shoes and banging on the table. Keep watching. Despite its claims, the CSP actions will only bring about war. We believe United Cantana and Arcadia together with their allies would come to an understanding for our mutual benefit and our desire to avoid destruction of the world. Yet United Cantana keep acting in complete disregard to the international law. Their allies are forcefully taking land and imposing their values on the people of those land. I will say this to the leaders of United Cantana. If either of us is to be secure, we need a peaceful cooperation, not nuclear missiles, show of naval superiority, or invasions. If the leader of United Cantana failed to demilitarize Hedgeland with complete dismantle of nuclear missiles and the withdrawals of occupying Valgslandian forces, the ATO will take matters into our own hand. What's that supposed to mean? You're promoting a war in an alliance of nations. Mr. President, this can't... Mr. Chancellor, please let me finish. We did not interrupt you when you addressed the Assembly. I will also raise my concerns about the threats Rumberg posed to Eastern Marcopa. The speaker who preceded me clearly showed tensions are rising. The reports from Moylan and Sordland are troubling. The representative from both countries refers to Ka-74s being smuggled within their borders. Mr. Rayne also pointed out the construction of nuclear weaponry in Rumberg. Our intelligence also confirms this. Arcadia and ATO will stand together against the aggression of Rumberg. They're playing a dangerous game, one that may bring ruins to Marcopa and their own lands. I believe the Alliance nations can find resolutions to this conflict as well. If not, let it be known Arcadia will stand together with Sordland. Rumberg cannot do as it pleases. Finally, I propose that the Alliance of Nations undertake noble cause of helping people of the world through rewriting and properly enforcing its human rights declarations. Alright, he's wrapping it up. Let's applaud. And of course, Mr. Melanjev himself. Honorable Chetma, they picked red for his name. However, increasingly we're being threatened. Representative from Arcadia, unfriendly attitude with peace. People's Revolution, forcing independent state to be their puppet, binding them themselves through the Arcadian era, currency domination. We will not be silent. Denuclearization. Real problem of real people, suffer because your systems, history's on our side. We just keep watching. A very strong UN meeting. Or a meeting here. Yes, a lot of fluff, and the speech ends, and we don't react. It definitely was. Alright, so that happened. We had our meeting, and we're gonna end things here. We'll come back with a little bit more foreign policy wrap-up here, and a few more geopolitical news. Nuclear weapons here, and we are still not doing so hot ourselves, and we still have that election coming up eventually. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and see you all next time. Bye!